Internet, hello, you absolute lovelies. It is another This Week in Comics. This week, we are going to be diving into lots and lots of news. Nothing super gigantic, but a whole bunch of little stuff added up this week. I guess the biggest thing, though, is the DCU continuity canon reset that officially happened yesterday. I'll be talking all about Peacemaker later on in this episode, so I'll navigate spoilers of that when we get to it. But also want to talk about that Lego Batman game and all of the continuity it covers. Lots of continuity shifts happening. Plus our two new giant casting announcements for Spider-Man Brand New Day. On top of that, we've got a bunch of stuff going on at Marvel and DC in general, plus some news about who was going to be the bad guy in Birds of Prey, a movie I really enjoy. Lots of stuff going on. And as always, this show is about the comic books themselves as well. So I'm going to give you my 9 favorite comics from this week. I've been trying to make it a mission to read this week's comics all day Wednesday and then read whatever I have left Thursday in order to bring you those comics on Friday so you can go to the local comic store over the weekend and pick up this week's books. So I'm going to give you my favorite 9 books from this week out of the 50 I read. If you want to see the comics that didn't make that top 9, numbers 10 through 45, 50, whatever, my Patreon has a letter ranking of every single comic I read, A plus, A minus, B plus, B minus, all of that for like $5. So I try to get people into the comic stores themselves, never want to gatekeep, so I do my favorites here, and I do all of those over at Patreon, as well as bring you guys the news right here. So let's dive into all of that glory. I'd love to find out in the comments what you guys think of this news, what you think of the comic books I checked out. If there's anything you read you want to talk about, please let's have a back of the comic store-esque, nerding out conversation in the comments below. That would make me oh so very happy. I got a microphone. I'm hoping this sounds good. This is the first time I'm using it all positioned correctly, and I will be doing a new camera setup in the coming weeks. So we are rapidly upgrading. I hope you guys are digging all of this. It is thanks to you. Apparently, it sounds great. That makes me oh so very happy, guys. We're building up. We got ideas. Things are moving. This makes me really, really stoked. Let's start with the news of Peacemaker first, because I feel like that is the biggest news story of the week, but it's probably the most covered. I feel like last night everyone kind of talked about the big Peacemaker shift. If you guys want to check out my Peacemaker review, it went up within 10 minutes of the show ending. I actually saw Peacemaker. Still haven't got my voice back, by the way, from Comic-Con. I am recovering. But I shot that so long ago, there was no art on my walls, which was really funny to go back and post that video. So check out that video if you guys want my full Peacemaker thoughts. But to give you my brief thoughts on the biggest part of that episode 1, I think it is absolutely genius to use a last time on to retcon, to change continuity, to mess with canon. I think Peacemaker and the DCU in general are some of the most comic booky things we've seen. I think it is really interesting that the comic continuity is something that is dependent on a writer or an artist's opinion. If you are taking over a book that's been going for 50, 70 issues, things change when you take over that book. It does feel like that is happening with a full universe here and with Peacemaker, and using Peacemaker, which is such a tongue-in-cheek show as it is, I think is a really fun way to kind of navigate that big shift. So I really think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a great way to change Justice League to Justice Gang. I think it is a clever way to be very immediate and intelligent about trusting your audience and diving in directly. I also think, to be honest, it is something that is going to kind of shift how we see comic canon going forward. I think it's a really cool idea to kind of keep the characters you want to play with. I think that's what Secret Wars is going to do. It is very interesting overall to see a full character swap in a last time on. That's kind of unprecedented. Last time ons are usually just clips. This was a full reshoot. This was a lot of changes. So I really, really dug it. I'm really curious what the public thinks of it. I know Peacemaker is a very intense show. It's definitely a shift from Superman. I like that this feels like a spinner rack. This is something I've been talking about a lot. I talked about it on the Escape Pod. I talked about it on Real Rejects. This universe feels so much like when you're going to the comic store and you've got a run that's for all ages. You've got an R-rated run. You've got the young ages run with, more of the animated stuff. but going straight from Superman into Peacemaker feels like that spinner rack really spinning, and the hard R nature of this first episode being part of the DCU, I think is absolutely incredible. So I like this use of canon change. I'd love to know what you guys think. I think it's very simple. I think it's very authentic to comic books. I think it's very um, well-meaning. It means that things from the Suicide Squad get to stay in. It means that some canon does get to come play. Obviously, we know Rick Flag is going to be a key factor, and we know, the Joel Kinnaman's Rick Flag Jr. was essential to the Peacemaker story to begin with. So now we have a bit of a Peacemaker trilogy between the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker season 1, season 2. We get an arc from Rick Flag Sr. from Creature Commandos through Superman into this. So I really enjoy those two things, and I don't know. I'm curious what the rest of the folks dig. As always, I'm going to get to each and every super chat, but I'm going to try to read the live chat as well. We got our first two super chats as we dive into the news. I'm going to be jumping into the next thing after this, but first super chat here from Doe Eyes, a simple for the house fund, which I appreciate oh so very dearly. Yes, one day a house will come, and I put all of these super chats towards the most expensive real estate market maybe in the country. LA's got to be in the top 10. No, New York's higher, but top 10, one of the most expensive real estate markets out there. Thank you very much, Doe Eyes. Much appreciated. Andre, thank you for the super chat as well. Andre saying, yay, I actually caught a Koi stream on time. Welcome. Thank you, Andre. And I appreciate it very, very dearly. And I'm honored to have you in here. I love that I get to do these live streams completely impromptu. I just kind of say, hey, 10 minutes, we're doing a live stream, and there's 120 of you in here. So that means a lot to me that you guys just jump in. I appreciate it. Next up, one more live stream, super chat, and then we're going to go back to the news. SJC360, I appreciate you very much. Thank you for the super chat. Asking, Bloodhaven said 2 ways in one Peacemaker, and other than Batman, how would you say it? Bloodhaven or Bloodhaven? Bloodhaven or Bloodhaven? I've always said Bloodhaven. I do see the spelling now, Bloodhaven, that you just did the distinguishing the two. Bloodhaven is not how I'd say it. I'd say Bloodhaven, but it is interesting because this is a show that is multiversal. This is a show that is going to be dealing with, different broad ideas of what reality is. So I could see one being Bloodhaven, one being Bloodhaven. I've always said Bloodhaven. Time will tell, but I think it's fun. We're getting to finally hear it. I'm a big Nightwing guy. I'm really curious to see the world of Batman expanded out. Without even having Batman necessarily in Peacemaker, getting things like Bloodhaven grows the DC universe out. And I think that's what the DC is doing really well so far. Speaking of growing the DC universe out, a couple quotes happened this week from James Gunn I thought were very interesting. James Gunn says the Superman follow-up movie takes place, quote, within the group of characters we've already met, and Superman is an important element. And he has said that this is going to be a 4-film Superman saga. Now, we've heard the next thing referred to as, something in the super family. We've heard that these characters are going to be integral. The idea that this is a 4-film saga is really interesting to me. I don't know anything beyond what you guys know yet. We shot a bunch of my Peacemaker stuff a bit ago. So I have not had any new knowledge post Superman that you guys don't know. So I know a lot of people, think, this guy works at DC Studios. He knows everything a year out. In the case of Superman, I don't know this next project, which has been so nice because I get to have fun and theorize alongside you guys. But this next Superman thing, I'm really intrigued about because I loved the world it built. I assume Mr. Terrific will be a key factor. I've said that from the very beginning, but I do also think a 4-film Superman saga makes me think Superman family, something with Crypto and Supergirl, then a Superman trilogy overall, like a Superman 1, 2, 3, and whatever this is going to be. I could see the Brainiac idea working out with Superman, Supergirl teaming on to take a Brainiac. I think that'd be interesting, but we don't know yet. I think a 4-film saga is interesting. I think the way he phrased what is going to be next is really interesting. And we got confirmation that the next 2 things filming within DC are likely to be Superman and the Batman 2. I think it's incredible that dude has already wrapped up the treatment, and it sounds like the script is almost done on Superman's next installment already. That movie came out 37 days ago. incredible speed and pace. But guy wrote Creature Commandos, Peacemaker season 2, and Superman in like a year. So it's really exciting to have the potential next Superman not be 5 years out, have it be very, very soon. And then the Batman 2 being something we can take our time on, have these long arcs. And next year, we obviously get Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and Clayface. So lots and lots of stuff coming out of DC and fairly quickly. So if we get Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and then Clayface in 2026, and then we get the Batman 2, and somehow maybe even Superman's follow-up in 2027, like a late 2027, that'd be insane. I'd estimate 2028 for the follow-up, but maybe not. I don't know. Time will tell. Very intrigued. What do you guys think about this next Superman follow-up? Are you excited? Do you think it might be something that Supergirl and Superman coming together? What do you think the Superman family element might be? Are you excited for a Superman saga with 4 installments? Let me know. I hope it's Brainiac. I've been wanting Brainiac forever. Let me know in the comments. Going to talk about Lego Batman and Archie after we check out a couple more super chats. Mad Dog. What up, Mad Dog? Coy, I like you, but I feel like you can be a shill at times. It is okay to not like something. Your take on Escape Pod about elements out of Marvel's control was an scapegoat. It's scapegoat. Their storytelling was it. I appreciate the super chat, but I don't talk about shit I don't like very much because I can't make it. So I am not a director. I'm not a writer. I don't think it is something. I think it's hilarious when people that can't do something critique something. So when people are keyboard cowboying on the internet and just flailing, I'm always embarrassed for them. So I don't like to do that myself. When people decide to use their limited time on this planet to judge and critique others, it's always really embarrassing for me to see them make fools of themselves. So I don't tend to talk about movies and shows that I don't like because I could never make it. I could never do it. If I'm going to be reviewing a movie or show that I didn't like, I always try to point out how incredible it is it exists. I always try to point out the positives, and I'll mention the flaws usually towards the end of the video. But if I can't make something, I'm not going to pretend I'm better than it. And I'm always embarrassed for people that think they can, because it's very silly. I think some things are better than others, but you won't see me reviewing a lot of stuff I don't like because that's how I like to do my content. So yeah, that's my take. But yeah, if you think that is a scapegoat, 1, hilarious, but 2, then don't watch my shit. B-Town, cam and setup is looking clean, my guy. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We are evolving and growing and changing. I am very excited about, we got lighting, we got sound, we got things cooking up. I'm going to be upgrading the camera next, but that, yeah, we're getting there. Studio's coming together, and I appreciate it very, very much, B-Town. And this is what I've been trying to build for sometimes. We passed 50K, and I want to level up accordingly past 50K. Samil Battenfield, thank you very, very much. Missing the MB. Oh, man, me too. Missing the MBTA map in the back, but here's something for the house fund. Thank you very much. Also, how can we make your Wolverine show pitch come to reality? Samil, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. I have always had, not always, but I've had that idea for a little over 10 years. You can actually see videos from like 4 or 5 years ago of me talking about it. On this page, there's some videos from like 4 years ago of me talking about that Wolverine show pitch. I have wanted to get in with Marvel in a more creative capacity, and it almost happened before the pandemic. Unfortunately, it didn't happen all the way. So at this point, I'm just giving my ideas out because, like, screw it. So I don't think that's something we can make, man, unfortunately. I'm actually going to be going to Boston, hopefully, not confirmed yet, but hopefully this year for the first time in a while. So I'm going to get a little taste of the MBTA in my own life very soon. I'm very excited about it. And I think I saw you say that Boston is even more expensive than LA. I think it is now, which is insane, especially like in Boston by the Common and stuff. But yeah, I was a little kid, so it was a little cheaper, but it's gotten crazy. Either way, thank you very, very much, Samil. And one day maybe DC or Marvel will let me make some stuff. But until then, Samil, also to add to that, my pitch, have the World War II story. Oh, yeah, for sure. Sorry, it just moved. Have the World War II story end with Cap and Logan fleeing a young Magneto. Yeah, I would have the first season be the Frank Miller 4-issue miniseries and establish the relationships with him with being a samurai and some of his actual, like, you know, personal relationships. I would introduce Sabretooth in that first one as the villain, and have him kill Mariko and have that be the end of the first arc. And then the second arc would be a kind of war arc, and it would probably be breaking my decades rule a little bit, but a flashback to another war and have most of it take place from World War II. So probably a flashback to Civil War or Revolutionary War would be more fun. I'd probably flashback to Revolutionary War or Civil War, and then have the lion's share of that season be a World War II story. Introduce Captain America, allowing him to be ageless in his own way. Introduce the Howling Commandos, have some fun with that, and then depending on what they want to do with like mutants aging slowly, that would be a way to incorporate Magneto and have that story in that second volume. And that would be a war season. And then third season would be a more modern story, but still, a throwback. I would do the 70s, and I would have that be something you'd pre-film stuff for Days of Future Past. Fourth season, 80s, Australia. I might make a video. I might make just a pure 10-minute X-Men pitch video. But yeah, Wolverine, I've thought a lot about, and I agree, Samil, that would be a factor for sure. John Tyson. Hey, Coy. Thanks for being. I appreciate this message, especially after the other one, like the scapegoat. Hey, Coy. Thanks for being positive about comics and movies. You help me stay positive. Always try to find something in a movie that I enjoy, even though I don't vibe with movies as a whole. Yeah, if the movie doesn't work for you as a whole, there is always something of merit. Like, I wanted to like Prometheus so much more than I did, but I loved the flute scene of Michael Fassbender's. I really loved certain ideas in the film. The movie overall didn't work for me, but my review was focusing on the things that worked for me. If you want to know, the negatives, then you need to stay for the end of the review. And even then, I'm not going to harp on them. I do think that art is, tiers. Not everything is great. Not everything is perfect. Not everything's even good. But you can check out my Letterboxd for what I think is bad. You can also subscribe to my Patreon. If you want to know what I thought of a movie that I didn't review, I put every letter grade on Patreon for comics and movies and TV. So, I do give the occasional D, F, C, but I mainly review the stuff I give an A and a B. I've given ever in the history of movies 25 films 5 stars. I only think 25 films are near perfect. Perfection doesn't exist, but I don't often think something is 5 stars. But if something is 4.5 stars, you better believe I'm going to focus on the positive. So I appreciate that very much, John Tyson. I try to be positive, and I have more fun doing it. And that's what I get to do on my channel, because this is my channel. Joey Pedras, good to see you, man. Joey, thank you very much for the super chat. Think we're ever going to get full-length animated DCU films starring the big heroes? Yeah, I think at some point, right? Like, I think that I think right now they're focusing on some of the animated series, and I think that they want to make sure if it's going to be in the DCU, it's the voice actors, and they need to establish them first, right? So David Cornsweet is the voice of Superman when they get there, so they need to establish them before that really takes the precedent. So I think it's coming. I just don't know how soon it would be, but I'm excited to see, the video games with those same actors voicing them. I love that Creature Commando said Frank Grillo. Like, we're seeing this all happen. It's building a universe. And I think we're so used to stuff happening immediately, and you've got to actually let this thing grow, which takes some time. We're going to do one more from Dan V 900, and then we're going to be diving in to the next bit of news about the Lego Batman game. Dan V 900, good sir. I know you've said Alien Earth might be your favorite show this year. I can't go that far yet. Andor with its second half takes the cake for me. I love Alien Earth. It's very smartly written. The more I've thought about Alien Earth, I love it, but I totally, it escaped me how much the studio stuck the landing for me. So I think the studio is my favorite show of the year. I think Alien Earth's my second favorite show of the year. I see Andor as one big thing, but I guess if you want to count a season 2, then yeah, to be fair, I wasn't considering season 2 as its own entity, and I should have. So I would probably say the studio and/or Alien Earth. I'd have to look at the rest of the shows I've watched, but yeah, those are the 3 that I dance around as like favorites. So absolutely love them. I think they're so special. I really do. Like, they're really, really good TV. And yeah, I'm glad other people are liking as well. And Alien Earth coverage every single week right here on this page. Let's talk about Lego Batman, you lovelies. All right, so Lego Batman it's a game, and it looks absolutely insane. And I want to give some flowers to what you can do when you've got very clever licensing. We would never get a movie wherein there was Michael Keaton's Batman meeting Christopher Nolan's Batman, or Michael Keaton's Batman against Heath Ledger's Joker, or where there was Will Arnett's Batman ever encountering Danny DeVito's Take on the Penguin. Like, that couldn't happen. The beauty of licensing is you can do those voice actors or sound alikes. And then if you've licensed that image, you as the consumer connect to that canon and this continuity. This is so Elseworld fun, world building crisis event, but all Batman. And Batman has been insanely popular the last 60 years. He's been around for 80, and he's been crazy popular, I would argue, since 66. Ebbs and flows, obviously, but I'd say 60 to 80 years, however you want to look at it, there have been incredible adaptations of Batman. I love that Lego owns all of that. And Warner Brothers has given this game the opportunity to blend so much continuity. I don't know what has been released publicly. I was lucky enough to see this trailer a while ago, and I've seen some of the new footage and things released, so I don't want to speak too much to it. But what I have seen is such a genius way to play with all of the narratives and choices of the infinite possibility of Batman. He's such a versatile character. There's so much you can do with him, and to make it a Lego game means you can really make it all work universally. Lego, you can streamline or you can augment, right? Like, when you look at the Lego Batman suit that is Robert Pattinson, you can tell it's him. When you look at the Lego Michael Keaton, you can tell it's him, but there's a universality to the Lego element itself. So it's such a genius way stylistically. It's such a genius way narratively. I really think this is a blast. I have a PS4. I don't even own a PS5. I might get a PS5 so I can get this and Spider-Man 2. I haven't even beaten Miles Morales yet. I only play about 3 hours of video games a year. Usually over the holiday break, I try to sit down and play games, and it's usually like a 2 or 3 hour window. So over the course of like 5 years, I might beat Miles Morales. So Lego Batman probably wouldn't get touched for a couple years, but it is something that looks like so much fun. So yeah, man, I was really excited about this. I think it's a really smart way to play with continuity. I think it's a really good looking game. I would love to know what you guys think. I got giddy when I first heard about this, and now that it's public, I'm excited to share it. So Lego Batman, what a genius way to combine all of the Dark Knights. I'm really curious what the story's going to be. I'm really curious what they're doing with all that. So very, very stoked. And maybe Scapegoat was a community reference. That is funny. I'm looking at the live chat. Maybe it is. All right. I am going to be diving back into the super chats. I really, man, oh man, am I excited. Samil, I don't think I'll have time for a meet and greet. Unfortunately, I'm only, if I get a chance to go, if I go, it's going to be for like 2 days. My birthday is in September, and I really want to like take a me trip. And Boston's one of my favorite places on the planet. I can't rationalize an international trip right now. And there's not a lot of places in America I have really interest in going. So it would be like a little jaunt for my birthday, which means it'd be like 2 days. So I don't know if I'll have time, but if I do have time, if I make it like a 5-day trip, I will absolutely let the internet know. All right. Next up on the super chats. Thank you to Tyler B. Tyler B, I appreciate the super chat very, very much. If James Gunn invited you to the writer's room for the DCU, would you take it, or would you rather not see how the sausage is made? Also, Lego Batman. It's funny. I was scrolling the super chats and I was like, I need to talk about Lego Batman before Lego Batman, because I just wanted to yell my excitement as well. Tyler B. If I got invited to the writer's room, would I take it? There is something I'm struggling with just as a person that loves creativity, in that the animosity on the internet is exhausting, and I don't find myself enjoying stuff as much anymore. Like when I read comics, it's largely for work now because I've made that my job, and that's great. I'm not in a coal mine. Like, I'm very happy with what I do. But comic book movies aren't fun anymore because I know I will be talking about them, and I have to deal with people. And so there is a part of me that would love to, in 5 or 10 years, not be connected to the internet as much. I really wanted to grow this into a talk show, right? Like, I really wanted to turn what I do here into, like a Hot Ones or something that is the modern talk show, but still a talk show. And then I would get off social media, but talk shows are kind of going away. Podcasts are replacing them in a very interesting way, but podcasts require so much connectivity to the internet that I don't have a lot of interest in. That might change. I mean, life changes. I'm a different person than I was a year ago. I might want to, but the idea of being someone that makes stuff does intrigue me as I get older. So that would also allow me to get away from the internet. So it might be something I would be interested in. And I do think working in the movie making system from the inside intrigues me because it would allow me to escape. So I wouldn't want to do both at the same time necessarily. Like I wouldn't necessarily want to do talk show work and writing work, but one or the other is the goal. Long game. So thank you for the question, man. That made me think. Little introspective cue that I haven't thought about for a while. Man, yeah, people are excited. Marvel Studios needs to hire you. Yes, full video. Wolverine is ancient. Yeah, that's the fun of it, right? So yeah, I would want to dive in to all these things. Mad Dog, thank you for the other super chat. I had limited words, so blunt, still a fan. I appreciate that. I'm blunt as well. I mean, that's why I was trying to say, like, I really, no disrespect to you for asking, but I really don't care if people think I'm a shill in that way, because a shill is someone who is manufacturing hype inauthentically. My hype is authentic. Like a shill is like someone that people misuse the word just like they misuse the word woke. The shill is someone who's like working alongside a gambler, like a game of cups, right? And you're trying to get people to think they can win. I don't give a shit about other people's experience. I give a shit about my experience. I'm hyped for this stuff. If I'm genuinely hyped, I'm not a shill. I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. I fucking love this shit. So other people's opinion isn't really my problem, but I appreciate the follow up there and appreciate you being a fan. It's the only way I get to do what I do. So I appreciate it. But yeah, all right. Let's see what is next. I don't play video games, Casey. I don't. I just frankly I don't have time. Let's see. Yeezy76. Yeezy, I appreciate you very much for the super chat. Looks like it is from France. Love from France. I love what the DCU is doing. Yeah, man, I'm personally really excited as well. I really enjoyed Superman. I'm really digging Peacemaker. I'm excited to cover it every week. That'll be every single week on this page. I'm really excited for the world building and the growth and the speed. I think it's really something special. So we will see, and I appreciate the love from France. It's good to see that symbol popping up in a super chat, man. Next up, Dan V900. Then back to the news. Dan V900. Holly dislikes the Prometheus lore. I'm with him there, especially Covenant. James Cameron revealed Ridley Scott was involved in Romulus' story, aka the Black Liquid. No issue there with Earth. Man, I am genuinely so loving this. I said it, and a lot of people were like, oh, but I don't love every decision Disney has made, especially lately. But I think Disney acquiring Fox scared me, and then Alien Earth showed me what a good acquisition can be. I don't think Fox ever would have had the money to make what Alien Earth is. I don't know that they ever would have invested as much in Alien Romulus, and the combination of Alien Earth and Alien Romulus is, my Alien-ish top to bottom. I am so happy with everything coming out of there. So I'm with you, Dan V900. I don't agree with all of the Prometheus lore. I love hearing that James Cameron revealed Ridley Scott was involved in Romulus. Man, I'm such a fan. So yeah, I'm really digging all of that. And I'm really intrigued where they go next. Like I think Alien Earth is so special week to week, and the water cooler conversation is so much fun. All right. Next up in the news, you lovelies. We've talked Superman, Peacemaker, and Lego Batman. Let's kick over to Archie, and then we're going. Oh, actually, before we get over to Archie, I actually thought this was really interesting, and then I want to talk Marvel. It was revealed this week during an interview with Margot Robbie. Penguin was the original villain of Birds of Prey, but Penguin was already being developed into the Batman. So Matt Reeves asked if they wouldn't use Penguin in Birds of Prey. One, the pandemic messed up my sense of time so much. My brain was like, Birds of Prey had anything to do with the timeline of the Batman, but the Batman, I remember, was one of the first movies I watched in theaters post-pandemic, and Birds of Prey was literally the last movie I saw at ArcLight Cinemas Hollywood. ArcLight closed in the pandemic, so they weren't that far apart, but that feels like such a different time. I just thought it was crazy. They changed Penguin into Black Mask. And that's also interesting because I consider Black Mask, like, people don't like that movie for whatever reason. I think it's a blast. Black Mask is one of the best villains I think the DCEU had. I think Ewan McGregor as Black Mask is one of the most inspired things out of the DCEU. And I thought Birds of Prey was a blast in large part because of the chemistry of the women and then the energy of Ewan. All of that made that movie. So I just thought that was really interesting that we almost had Penguin and Birds of Prey, and the Batman wanted him, so it didn't work out. So Margot Robbie just said that anecdotally during her press for a big, bold, beautiful. Man, I'm so excited for that movie. It's Big, Bold, Beautiful something. Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie's love story. I'm very excited about that movie, but I forget the last word in that. Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. They're doing press on, and they revealed that, and I thought that was insane. But yeah, anyway, wanted to share that little anecdote I heard this week. Let's talk about Archie. I like Archie. I'm very casually Archie. I was not a Riverdale guy. I've only read Archie comics periodically. When an Archie comic gets, a lot of popularity, I'll dip in and see if it's my jam. And occasionally it has been. I've dipped into Archie and dipped back out. It's not a fandom I'm invested in personally, but I respect it and I admire it. And when it's good, I love it. I am so interested in an Archie movie for the first time ever because the creative team behind this is insane. Lord and Miller, like, I think two of the best director writers out there, like meta modernist maestros. These guys are genius. Those two gentlemen handling Archie already has me intrigued because what are they going to do to make that character work today? What elements of the 50s and all of those things are they going to incorporate with Tom King writing? I know a lot of people don't like Tom King. I love Tom King. He's one of my favorite writers. If there's a Tom King book out, it is not only the top of my pull list to read, but it's usually the top of my favorites. Like, dude just has sensibilities I enjoy. I really like his work. That's another thing. Like, when I can get off the internet, it's going to be really nice to enjoy the things I enjoy without just dealing with people. So Tom King and Phil Lord, Chris Miller making an Archie has me so excited. This was announced this week. This came out of nowhere. Had never expected this property to become any sort of big deal. I'm so amped. I just wanted to acknowledge it. I'm going to keep you guys posted as things develop. I'm so invested in this property. I'm so excited for Hail Mary. I think that's going to be one of the biggest movies of next year. Next year is stacked. Next year, we've got The Odyssey. Next year, we've got Hail Mary. Next year, we've got Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Next year, we got Spider-Man Brand New Day, which we're about to talk about. Next year is insane. And it seems like after that, we're getting Beyond the Spiderverse and Archie. So let's talk about Spider-Mans. This is insane to me. Spider-Man Brand New Day has had so many exciting casting announcements, and I think maybe the most exciting of any of them is what we're getting with the potential of having, like, the world growing in a way that is natural, but also the villains that could incorporate into this next new trilogy. And that's what I think we are getting with casting Tramell Tillman. Tramell Tillman is one of the breakout stars of Severance. He recently popped up in Mission Impossible. The dude is going to be a household name. He is so charming in such an interestingly cold and removed way. He's got this, like, bravado, but he's also terrifying. He, I think, could make an excellent Norman Osborn. Now, I really wanted Coleman Domingo to play Norman, especially after his performance in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I think Tramell Tillman can bring a similar captivating, charming terror. And if it's not going to be Coleman Domingo, I love this take. Now, there are a lot of questions of how this is going to work. We know that Spider-Man knows Norman Osborn. He met Willem Dafoe's Norman Osborn. How will it work to have a new Norman? I don't know. I'm curious what the writers cook up. Tramell Tillman has not been confirmed as anyone. I am theorizing he's one of three characters. Tramell Tillman as Norman Osborn, I think, is inspired. I would love that very much. I think it'd be so captivating and iconic and a very different take than Willem Dafoe, and he would be a worthy actor to carry a trilogy. The most obvious choice, I don't think it is, but this is the one the internet is saying. I don't personally don't think he's playing Tombstone. I would be in because he's an incredible actor and I'd watch the hell out of it, but I personally don't think it's that. My curiosity is we had the incredible what is her name? She is on The Bear. She is oh man, it's gonna drive me crazy. I'm gonna look her up real quick. We had the incredible actress from The Bear cast as a mystery role in the show as well. And I immediately thought she was going to play Miles's mother. And I have been thinking, okay, we've got Miles's mom ever since Liza Cologne. Liza Cologne Zayas. Liza Cologne Zayas is such a powerhouse. She's this incredible, tiny little actress that is so small in body, but so big in gravitas and just performance. She's incredible. She would be an incredible Mama Morales. I think you also need someone as big and with such a presence and gravitas as that to play Jefferson Davis. I could see that being Tramell Tillman. I would love if we get the parents of Miles Morales introduced in one movie and then maybe Miles lightly introduced in a second movie, and then the third movie gets to be a team up where Tom Holland is a mentor. I think it'd be a really cool trilogy to potentially tie in Miles' long form. I think it'd be a really interesting thing to have the symbiote trilogy. Might be too much to do that alongside, but I really want the symbiote trilogy to actually be a trilogy. But I would love if we somehow get Miles's parents in this, and I think Tramell Tillman would be an exceptional Jefferson Morales / Jefferson Davis, depending on which run you're reading. So yeah, those are my three theories. Norman Osborn, easiest choice is Tombstone, and then the Hail Mary would be Jefferson Davis, Tramell Tillman. It would be so much fun. We will see. All right, next up, we've got some super chats, and then I'm going to be diving into some more Spider-Man news because we got a little anecdotal news from Shameik Moore. Also Florence Pugh. Actually, let's talk about that then. Super chat. In addition to Tramell Tillman, it was confirmed, and I don't know how much confirmed because it's like, they've put out so much fake news, which I loved. I think leak fake news every day. That way, by the time the movie actually gets here, we get to enjoy the movie, not all the pieces we put together. Keep leaking fake news. Keep saying everyone and their mother is in it. But one of the more credible things that came out was that Florence Pugh was also in this movie. What I immediately thought was, what a perfect connection to the new Avengers, the new era of Avengers, not even just new Avengers, but new era of Avengers, than someone that feels so isolated and alone. I think if you look at the villains that are being assembled, they're very street level. If you look at the heroes that are in this, they're all people that feel isolated and that they feel removed from society. Spider-Man, literally removed through magic. Mark Ruffalo, his rage is something he's had to keep at bay in order to be any semblance of society. I think that is a key factor. He's a scientist, that's going to connect him, but also like we're going to get, I assume, Savage Hulk, but even just the human element of Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner is something that so connects to Peter Parker. And now Florence Pugh, struggling with mental health, feeling ostracized, feeling alone. Perfect choice to include her in this story. I think this is an absolute genius move. Yes, there's a ton of people in this movie. If they can juggle it, it's going to give Peter Parker a lot. It's going to give the Spider-Man element of who he is as a human a lot. It's going to have a lot of villains, probably in a montage. There's so much going on. And again, I hope they keep leaking fake stuff as well as real stuff eking out. I think Florence Pugh is actually in it. Years ago, Tom Holland said in an interview he wanted to work with Florence Pugh. Manifesting master / he's one of the creative producers on this. I'm sure he fought for it, but yeah, this has me really, really excited. Florence Pugh, Tramell Tillman, what a cast that is being assembled. And very quickly, last bit of Spider-Man news, then we'll jump into super chats. Shameik Moore has said he is recording his voice work for Beyond the Spiderverse. This is the first big update we've had in a little while. I personally, as long as I'm alive when it comes out, do not care when Spider-Verse comes out. It has the potential to be my favorite movie trilogy of all time. I said it earlier. I've given 25 films in history 5 stars. 2 of them are Into and Across the Spider-Verse. If Beyond the Spider-Verse lands at a 5-star, it is my favorite trilogy of all time. It is, the impossible hat trick of 3 5-star films. I want them to take their time. I'm very excited to hear an update. I don't care when this movie comes out, but them doing voice work means things are cooking. That has me excited. This is anecdotal. I didn't talk to Shameik Moore. I don't know it firsthand, but Shameik Moore apparently confirmed we are getting voice work happening, which means Beyond the Spider-Verse is sooner, and that is exciting for me. All right, into the super chats. Ya lovelies. Let's dive into Tyler B coming back with another one. Tyler B saying, Daredevil season 3 confirmed and Ultimate Comic Run. I'm very excited for whatever we get with Daredevil season 2. I don't know if season 3 was confirmed. I'm buddies with Justin and Aaron, and I try not to know what they're doing so I don't accidentally say anything. I ask them not to tell me too much, but I know how proud they are of season 2. I know that they had a blast making it. I know they love working with Marvel, so I'm very excited for season 2. I don't know about a season 3. Time will tell. And Ultimate Comic Run. Do you mean Ultimate Daredevil? I'm not sure if we're getting an Ultimate Daredevil. I'm loving the Ultimate stuff going on in Marvel right now. Apparently it's ending, which is a bummer, but I don't know if that's going to be like an end to restart. I don't know if that's just a story element. I don't know what's happening, but I'm very much enjoying 70% of the Ultimate stuff, and the stuff I am enjoying is like the top of my polls every week. So we will see about season 3, and I'd love to see an Ultimate Daredevil. Kyle Jackson, thank you, good sir. Kyle Jackson asks, love what you're doing, Coy. I see your music posters. What music are you enjoying currently? Yeah, I had fun like lining this up, right? So when I get the room done, I'm going to do a room tour, and a poster tour is going to be a part of that. But, Childish into Tupac and Eminem and Halsey. Basically, these are, my favorite artists of all time. I adore Halsey is more of a recent favorite artist, but she was the best concert I went to this year, and I saw some great concerts. She is sensational. But I'm a hip hop guy, and these are favorite rappers. Tupac and Eminem might be basic, but I think there's a reason they're legends. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of early 2000s hip hop as like nostalgia has been very comforting in an angry world. So I think most recently a lot of Young Buck, a lot of Dipset, 50 Cent's been cycling in there. Tupac is a constant. Like Tupac and Eminem are constant. Actually, any of these three, Childish, Tupac, and Eminem are pretty consistent in my shuffle. I've been listening to a lot of Wu-Tang since I met RZA. I've always been a huge Wu-Tang fan, but he recontextualized a couple ideas in his music, and it's made me listen to it in a different way, and that was fascinating. Yeah, Wu-Tang, Young Buck, Dipset, 50 Cent, Wu-Tang, a little bit of Prodigy. It's kind of been on rotation. Oh, the Toadies. I've been listening to a little bit more Fox Shazam since this new season of Peacemaker. I like Fox Shazam quite a bit, and their sound, their energy. Yeah, those things. White Zombie always. Yeah, that music that is on the docket. All right. Casey Grant, thank you very much. Casey Grant asks in a super chat, first time catching the stream. Amazing. I am, for the record, trying to lock in what time I'm going to be streaming every week. I think if I can make Wednesday a little lighter on my schedule, I can read more. And if I read a lot Wednesday, I can more achievably have the comics done by Friday instead of by Monday. And then I can do the news of the week instead of the news of last week. So the goal is, I think, to do these on Fridays. And I'm going to try to navigate what that looks like with my other shows. Yeah, once I get a schedule locked in, I'm hoping to let people know so I can make it like the time and plan. But Friday is the goal. So hopefully this time worked for you, Casey. I appreciate it. Love listening to your reviews after your movie reactions. Instantly subscribed. I appreciate that very much. I haven't been to a new movie in a little bit. This is kind of the longest gap I've had, but I'm seeing Caught Stealing on Tuesday. So you're going to catch it out of the theater for that next week, and then a review for that next week. There's been so many shows like Peacemaker, Alien Earth, all this coverage on this page, and the lives. Next week is Peacemaker coverage, Alien Earth coverage, alive for the news, as well as Caught Stealing. So that's kind of my goal for next year is 4 to 5 videos a week. And that would be kind of the format, a show or two, a movie or two, a live stream, and then something else. So we're cooking up this page. Once we pass 50K, which we just did, I really wanted to up the professionalism and kind of like tier up along with the 50K number. I really want to hit 100K next year. So this is now the road to 100K. I'm still doing my 50 comment giveaway. I just got to figure out how to randomize who I'm picking. But yeah, I'm really excited to have this page grow. So I appreciate you tuning in, Casey, and I'm glad you could make it for this live stream. It means a lot to me. John Tyson, thank you very much for the super chat. Some recent books we've picked up: Scarlet, love. Couture, don't know. Cemetery Beach on the list. Geiger, adore. Junkyard Joe, into it as well. Can't wait to dive in. Geiger is one of my favorite new characters the last 5 years in the capes tone. It's a really good new Cape book, and it's really strong from Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. I love pretty much everything out of the Ghost in the Machine imprint. They've done such a good job making their own new characters. Big old fan of Geiger. Scarlet, I loved when it first came out a lot. Still do, but when it first came out, that was like one of my big books of that year. I agree with you. Don't know Coach Shirt, but I want to check out Cemetery Beach, and Junkyard Joe ties into Geiger nicely. All righty, next up, Doug McKinney. Good sir. How are you, Darth Vader? Do your Patreon subs get a link to the Koi Pond Discord? I invited a couple people to it who expressed interest via Dragon Wagon Discord, but I won't do that anymore if you have a method in place. Yeah, if you subscribe to my Patreon, you get access to all of my comic book, every comic I read that week. So like 30 to 40 of the new books of the week, every one of those rated. And then you get access to my Discord, and you also get access to the movies and TV shows rated. So it's like for $5 a month or more if you want, but at $5 is the buy-in, like $5 and up. You get access to all of my opinions of everything I consumed that month. And the Discord, I try to jump in 3 times a month or so, and that is part of that as well. So thank you for linking that to people, man. And yeah, the Koi Pond Discord is part of that at $5, just automatic in, and I appreciate you connecting, folks. It means a lot, man. Thank you, as always. Next up, Mad Dog. What's the topics for Capes and Cowls today? Teaser. Capes and Cowls today. Guys, that is at 11. Capes and Cowls teasing. Let's see. We're going to be talking about Peacemaker. We're going to be talking about Tramell Tillman. We're going to be talking about Daredevil Born Again potentially getting a season 3. We're going to be talking about those things. Setting you up. Now you guys know, a little early, an hour and a half early. Me and Winston talking about those things teased here to Mad Dog. All right, let's see. And last one before we get back to the last bit of news and then the comics. Cinemaze. What up, Cinemaze? Hit my 10K goal. 10,000 is a big deal. Congratulations on 10K. That is commendable, man. I mentioned a few lives ago, could I get a Koi question for my 10K Q&A special? Comic or superhero film focused? Okay, very excited for you. Hitting 10K. Let's see. I would say comic or superhero film focused. I would say do something fun with ranking. So in honor of the Batman 2, ranking your favorite Batman villains from all of the Batman movies. Everyone ranks the Batmans, but rank the villains because there's more of those to play with. So that would be my question, Cinemaze. Ranking the cinematic Bat villains, because that's fun. Joker's my number 1. Space Baby Ted. Hey, Koi, my first live I've been able to catch. I'm just curious, have you ever read Wonder Woman Dead Earth? It's one of my faves from DWJ. If you have, did you enjoy it? I am a big old fan of Wonder Woman Dead Earth. I think it is so much fun. I think it is really inventive. I think it is beautiful art. I think it's got a lot of energy. I think it's really captivating. I think it's a different take on Wonder Woman in a way that shows the versatility of the character. I love the cliffhangers week to week. Yeah, I thought that was a fantastic book, and I appreciate it. Space Baby Ted, thanks for joining the live. And yeah, that book is one I recommend to people that don't know Wonder Woman or think they don't like Wonder Woman. The current run I adore. I think. Nope, this week it didn't make my top 9, but usually it makes my top 9. But big old fan of that Dead Earth run, and I love what they're doing with Absolute, and it reminds me of Dead Earth quite a bit. It's very, very solid. All right, last bit of news is just a little bit of Marvel news leading us into the comic books. Alan Cumming says he doesn't know who he was acting with half the time when filming Avengers Doomsday, saying, quote, I did the entire film in isolation. Lots of green screen, face replacement. They even gave characters fake names. I don't know who I was acting with half the time. 1, cheeky funny. 2, I think this might be because he accidentally revealed someone he fought and he might have been given a line for PR. It is possible that he didn't know who he was acting with half the time. That is totally possible. But I also think they might have played that up a little bit because of that leak. So I could easily see this being a narrative they do for the rest of press. I would not be surprised if you hear more actors say, I had no idea who I was acting with. Now, it could still be true, but it is a good PR line to cover people's bases and to stop getting asked the same freaking question. I'd be so exhausted. Like, Hemsworth was promoting Limitless, a show I love. I would love to talk to Chris Hemsworth about Limitless. Everyone is asking about Avengers. I would not ask about Avengers at Limitless. I would ask about Limitless. And so I think getting ahead of things like this for the next year is smart. So I could easily see that being, something they're saying as a way to kind of cover. But it could also be something that is happening because the movie just finished being written. I do not know. But I thought that was an interesting little sidebar that I'm sure people are gonna run with for the next little bit. But yeah, all right. Diving into the next bit of news. Not news. The next bit. Sorry, I just got an email and I was like, oh no, is this time chaotic? But yeah, diving into the next bit of the show, we're gonna be diving into the comics from this week. Very excited about some of the books this week. It was a very good week in comic books. And then I'm going to preview the books from the Wednesday upcoming. So you guys can check out those books at your local comic store. These are the ones that dropped on the 20th, a mere 2 days ago. And these are the books I would recommend for new and seasoned readers alike. And I am then going to wrap out of here because I've got Capes and Cowls at 11. But again, I'm trying to make a consistent Friday show for you lovelies. All right. That has loaded. Good. Made it in. All right. First book of my 9 favorites of the week. Absolute Batman. Number 11, we have one of my favorite artists in the game, Clay Mann, taking on the Nick Dragotta, very conscious style of Nick Dragotta, and it's a blast. This Bane is intense. This Bane is terrifying. This Absolute run has been a joy the whole time. Highly recommend Absolute Batman. Highly recommend this issue in particular. Next up on my list of favorite comics from the week of the 20th, we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 10. This is a very interesting issue because Joe Kelly has done something I usually don't like, but he's doing it well. I don't like an angry Spider-Man unless it's symbiote infused. I personally see Spider-Man as friendly neighborhood. And this is a very interesting take on why and how this angry Spider-Man has come to be. I love the energy of this book. I love the way it's feeling like a Silver Age comic, but in modern day. I love what Spider-Man's doing with work. I think this all just suits Spider-Man, a really good time in Spidey. And I love that the main title is great again. And also, look at this cover. What a beautiful, immediately iconic classic cover. I love this oh so very much. Amazing Spider-Man number 10. Next up, we're switching to digital to show you covers. We've got Batman and Robin Year 1, number 10. Really great, noir-toned. Immediately, one of my favorite Batman runs is this Chris Samney art with Mark Waid writing. They're doing such a good job showing the Dick Grayson era of Robin, and it's so fun. The Clayface stuff here feels like a classic 20s Hollywood tone. It's such a good time. If you guys also haven't checked out DC High Volume, it's my show that I do with DC where we're adapting word for word the classic Spider-Man, classic Batman stories into radio plays. So Batman Year 1, Batman Long Halloween, Batman Dark Victory, all into these incredible radio plays. It's the number 1 fiction podcast on all platforms. It's a huge show that I really love doing. Check it out, especially if you like Batman. But this comic reminds me of that. Another Batman book here. We got Detective Comics number 1100. This is an oversized issue that is so freaking good. There is a story in here with Ace the Bat Hound that I think is an all-timer. The art from Michael Janin is Mahil Hanin. I'm not sure how to say his name, but Michael Janin's how Americans say it. Is so freaking good. I adore every one of these anthology stories, but especially that one with Ace the Bat Hound broke me. Special book right here. Highly recommend this. It's probably my book of the week. Next up, Department of Truth number 33, continuing the insane mini arc dealing with the Hat Man and taking too much night meds. Department of Truth is about a world where if enough people believe in something, it becomes real. The Hat Man, I think, is one of those things in our reality where people believe in it, and that is a crazy thing. So, yeah, this is something very special, and I love this title oh so very much. New number 1 from Rick Remender is always going to get my interest. Escape number 1. It also has Daniel Acuna art, and he is a genius. This is a World War II book, but it's got anthropomorphized animals as the characters, and it is so intense to care so much for these animals you've just met in one issue. And I'm not much of a war comic guy, but this book really just hit me in the feels, and I loved it quite a bit. Exquisite Corpses number 4, another really interesting, independent, bold, violent book from Image Comics. This is Battle Royale meets Hunger Games. Basically an idea of each of the 50 states puts in an assassin into a small town for the right and ability to run the country for a few years. It is a really interesting take on geopolitical violence, but also assassin stuff. And it's very impressive how quickly you care about these characters. So, Exquisite Corpse number 4. This book is insanely good. Crypto number 3. Check out 1 and 2 as well, but issue 3, each of these issues is very different. It is Ryan North, the genius behind the Fantastic Four run that's going right now. He's writing Crypto like I care so much about Crypto. Like he's writing him like suddenly my favorite character. Like I never cared about Crypto as much as I do in this book. This is such a great way to endear you to this dog, and what a hero, what a title. Oh my God, Crypto, love this book. Then we've got last one here, Superman Unlimited number 4. This is a very interesting take on Superman, where kryptonite is getting more and more common in this universe, and he has to adapt day to day people having kryptonite. It is a very different take, and this one is leaning into some of the Jimmy Olsen Golden Age sensibilities, because this is Night of the Superman Bat, and yet it works. It works real well. It is such a good time. These are my overall favorite 9 of the week. If you check out my Patreon, this will be the cover of this post, but you'll also see all of the other comics I read letter graded. So these are all A's and B's. If you guys want to find out what I thought of other books out this week that were B, B minuses, C plus, D's, check out my Patreon, literally $5. Also, I rank my movies and TVs at the end of the month there as well. So if you want to see the stuff I didn't like, that's the way to do it. If you are so intrigued, let's do 3 last super chats here, or however many we get. I'm not leaving until we're done with super chats. I never leave till all super chats are answered. We're going to do these 3, and then I'm going to give you guys my favorite, or the books I'm going to read this week, and then we're going to wrap out of here. All righty here, the Cali Kid. My favorite comic book character is Ditko, and even 80s era Doctor Strange. They don't do him justice now. What do you think? Amazing character. I like Doctor Strange, and comic book character is Ditko, like Steve Ditko. Hold on. You might have just stumped me. Marvel character Ditko. Okay, so Steve Ditko, artist of Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. I think you meant artist, because that would make sense. My favorite comic book artist is Ditko, and even 80s era Doctor Strange. They don't do him justice. How do you think? Amazing character. I'm confused. I love Steve Ditko. He's not my favorite, but I love him. And obviously he's the OG. He's the one that started all this. I'm a John Romita guy. I'm a John Romita Jr. guy. I'm a McFarlane, Steve Scrose, Bagley. There's a lot of artists I love for Spider-Man, but I do really love Ditko's Doctor Strange. Ditko's Doctor Strange is something very special, and 80s Doctor Strange is great as well. I think I just don't understand your question all the way, but I agree how incredible and special Ditko is, and 80s Doctor Strange, and especially Ditko Doctor Strange, very special. Let's see. Ricardo. I feel like Gunn's original plan to incorporate games into the DCU is tough, considering how long his game. Yeah, that's fair. Considering how long games take to make, maybe something in the past, JSA. That's a fun idea. I do think that is a factor, right? Because you'd have to start making it now for the next wave of movies, like as in sequels. Because games are like 4 or 5 years. So yeah, that is a hell of a thing. I don't know how that would work. I'm with you, but I do like the idea of JSA, because then that mural and certain elements of the past could tie in. Genius idea, Ricardo. All about that. Love it. Thank you very much, man. And another one from SJC 360. I appreciate it. Let me get to this real quick. Thank you very much for this question. In the Marvel Comics, how do you explain the public accepting the accidents? Avengers, F4, Spidey, but hate the mutations. X-Men. Always felt the two worlds should be separate. Bigotry. The same way that in our world, we don't say white on white crime, but we say black on black crime. It's literally bigotry. Like the X-Men are a metaphor for us judging people differently than we judge others. There are way more crimes that affect us day to day in like white collar jobs and the theft of our money and the way that we're being taken advantage of on a nationwide and global scale by billionaires. But the news will report on a petty crime like it's as big of a deal if it's people that don't look like the newscasters necessarily. That's the X-Men. The X-Men represent people that we hate and fear. And that is how we had been and are again treating members of the LGBTQ community. That is how we treat members of marginalized communities of all kinds, and how if someone doesn't look like someone, they tend to think differently of them. That's X-Men. So if an accident happens with cops, oops, that's the Avengers. If an accident happens with the X-Men, they treat them like marginalized society. So that is the way. It is, I think, plausible because I think it's our reality. I've always seen um, police shootings as a great example of how it would be swept under the rug. And it sucks that that's our reality, but that to me is how it is. Callie Kid, thank you for the sticker, man. Thank you for the little jumping buddy. That makes me very happy. And I hope I answered your question. Steve Ditko, Doctor Strange. There we go. You were talking about the artist. So sorry. I just wanted to make sure I understood. Steve Ditko, the artist, is incredible. Yes. And his Doctor Strange is sensational. I am totally with you there. Alex, thank you very much, Alex. Thoughts on Yelena Belova joining the Spider-Man cast? I talked about it a little bit earlier, but in case you missed it, I think she is a great connection to the Avengers, along with Hulk being a connection to the old Avengers for someone that is removed from society that feels like a loner. I think she's perfect for what Spider-Man's going to be going through. Isolation, sadness, just brokenness. And I think she's perfect to be kind of a parallel to Spider-Man. So I'm really excited about that choice. Destined, thank you very much for the super chat. Destined, the over-under on Gunn pulling the trigger and giving us a Nice Guys inspired show starring Hawkgirl and Supergirl. This is my dream DCU project. I think under for now, but I could see it. I could see going over. I'd want to see more Hawkgirl first. I love your Nice Guys use though. I just don't know what the plan is past this Supergirl movie. So that I think I would need to know what project he's working on right now, and then I would be able to give you an over. But I don't know yet. But I really love your pitch. That's a good project. I like that, Destin, quite a bit. Hawkgirl, Supergirl will be a lot of fun. Both very like brawler, angry but justified, badass, well-intentioned. Yeah, I really like them as a duo. That's really, really fun. The Cali Kid, what's the Doctor Strange equivalent in DC? The Great Dr. Fate, good sir. Dr. Fate is a character that actually precedes Mr. Strange. Doctor Strange, apologies. He has his doctorate. He has a few. Dr. Fate is a really cool character. Pierce Brosnan played in Black Adam, but more importantly, he's a character whose helmet is such an important artifact and key part of decades of DC lore. He is a mantle character that does change from time to time. Check out Dr. Fate. Very similar tone, but also like a little bit more complicated history and also a really important piece of DC lore. Yeah. All right. 100th like, Tim. Tom Benchetret. How do I say your name? Etret. Tom Benchetret, thank you very much for the 100th like, man. I appreciate you guys liking in here. It means a lot. Shout out to all the nerdy educated in there. I agree. Nick Rodriguez, hell yeah, prep period. Helping out the future, man. Shaping the future. I appreciate it very, very much. Steve Ditko, Doctor Strange, we clarified, which makes me happy. Crypto short cartoon DC but out was fun kid stuff. Oh, good to know. I haven't seen that, Doug McKinney. Catching Koi live makes me happy. I appreciate it. Forgot to like. Thank you, everyone that liked. Thank you, everyone that leaves a comment after. We're going to wrap out of here after I read some of this. This is going to be the comics I'm picking up this week, and then we're going to wrap out of here. Any last super chats, get them in now, because I will not leave without answering them, but this is going to be the last thing I say otherwise. And this has been a really fun one, guys. I'm glad I woke up early and prepped so I could spend some time with you this fine Friday morning. Today is Wednesday. Today is Friday, the 22nd. The books I read earlier were available this week that are my favorites, and you can, again, check those out on Patreon. Those are my favorite books from the 20th. These are the books coming out this upcoming Wednesday. These books are out in 5 days. These are the books on the 27th of August I'm going to be checking out. We've got Absolute Martian Manhunter number 6, Absolute Wonder Woman number 11. Very excited for both of those. Avengers 29, Bring on the Bad Guys. Dormammu, Bring on the Bad Guys. Oh, there's another Bring on the Bad Guys this week, and I don't know what it is. 2 Bring on the Bad Guys books, which are these anthology books from Marvel coming out pretty often that have been fun. Deadpool Wolverine number 8, Death of Silver Surfer number 3, Doomed 2099, Emma Frost White Queen number 3, Entanglement number 1, Fantastic Four Fanfare number 4, The Flash 24, Geiger 17, Green Arrow, one of my favorite runs of Green Arrow, number 27, Green Lantern 26, Green Lantern Dark number 6, Harley Quinn 53, Huck Big Bad World number 4, Immortal Legend Batman number 1, Incredible Hulk 28, Jeff the Land Shark number 3, Justice League Unlimited number 10, Lazarus Fallen number 3, Masterminds number 1, Miles Morales Spider-Man 37, Minor Arcana number 10, Mr. Terrific Year 1 number 4, Nemesis Forever number 1, Peacemaker Presents Eagerly Doubled Feature number 5, Phoenix number 14, Predator Black, White, and Blood number 2, Robin and Batman Jason Todd number 3, Runaways number 3, Spider-Verse versus Venomverse number 4, Superman 29, The Thing number 4, Thor number 1, Ultimate Spider-Man 20, Uncanny Valley number 10, Void Rivals 22, West Coast Avengers number 10, Wolverine and Kitty Pryde number 5, X-Men 21, and X-Men Tooth and Claw number 1. That is what I mean when I say I read like 40 comics a week, because I'm also reading some back issues to keep up with the news. So big old week in comic books. Last week of the month is also always pretty huge. That is going to do it, you absolute lovelies. Spidey Cat is doing well, Darth Vader. He is right in front of me, in front of this desk, and he is playing with some plastic. He's very happy. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I will talk to you soon. Thank you for tuning in with me this Friday morning. Gonna try to make Friday lives more of a consistent thing. Thank you for everyone that left a super chat. The Cali Kid coming in with the last sticker. I appreciate the Cali Kid sticker popping in. Much appreciated. And the last super chat looks to be from Avraham, cool name. Zev, cool name. Gayer, cool name. Avraham Zev Gayer, what a name. How do you feel about Ed Brubaker's Captain America run? I think without it, we would not have the quality movies we have today. I think the Winter Soldier choice really, as a film, elevated the MCU, and he's the one that made Winter Soldier and doesn't get enough credit for it. So Ed Brubaker's Cap run, I think, is one of the all-time. And I think that without it, the MCU would be lesser for it. And I hope Ed Brubaker gets the credit one day. I think he's an incredible writer. And I think that it is a shame that at that time the writers weren't given more love. I think we're working on it. I think I'm not working on it. I've been trying to get comic writers and artists known for years, but I think society is working on it, trying to make sure the folks that make art that gets adapted get a little bit more love. So Ed Brubaker's run, so good. Highly recommend it. And thank you for the last question, Abraham. That is going to do it, you lovelies. At 11 o'clock, I will be with Winston doing Capes and Cowls over on Christian Harloff's channel. And every friggin' day or so, you'll see a video from me at Real Rejects. Lots of stuff coming from me at Real Rejects. And then every other Friday on HBO and HBO's YouTube, DC Studios Showcase. I'm their comic correspondent every month. You'll find me at DC High Volume on DC's page. Every few red carpets, you'll see me at the Hollywood Reporter. You can check out my Patreon for all of my comic ratings that are not in my top 9, as well as my movies that I liked and didn't like. You can also check me out on Koicast, which is my podcast. I have 8 jobs, and I love you guys for tuning in to any and all of them. I appreciate it very much. And I'm so glad the mic works, Galaxy Geeks. All right, that is going to do it, you lovelies. I appreciate you. Cali Kid, enjoy your trip to the comic shop. Anyone that goes to the comic shop today, pick up some goodness and let me know in the comments what you're reading, and let me know what you thought of the news we talked about today. Much love. Do something awesome this weekend. I appreciate y'all. Bye.